TSA rules in 2025 have changed, and if you're flying with your child's medication, you need to watch this. One small mistake could mean delays, missed flights, or losing access to something your child needs. Even seasoned parents are getting caught out at airport security. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly how to fly with children's medication based on real family travel experience and the newest TSA updates. You'll learn what's allowed, how to pack and label meds properly, what to expect at security, and even some underrated tips that can make things a lot easier when you're traveling with kids. Alright, let's talk about the big update that every traveling parent needs to know. TSA's new 2025 liquid rules. And yes, it's good news for once. So you know that old 3-to-1-to-1 rule where you had to cram everything into tiny 3.4-ounce bottles? Not anymore. Thanks to new CT scanners being rolled out at major U.S. airports, TSA now allows 11 specific items to bypass the old liquid restrictions. Here's what's now allowed in your carry-on without worrying about size limits. You can now bring full-size prescription and over-the-counter liquid meds like allergy syrups or children's pain relievers such as Tylenol or Motrin. The only rule is to keep them in their original packaging. That helps TSA quickly identify what you're carrying and keeps things moving smoothly. If your child's meds need to be kept cold, you can bring ice packs, gel packs, or freezer packs. Just make sure you declare them at security. They're even allowed if they're partially melted, but for the least hassle, it's best to keep them frozen solid when you go through the checkpoint. As always, breast milk, formula, and baby food are not limited to small quantities. You can pack what you need without worrying about ounces. Even liquid-filled teethers for those cranky little travelers are exempt. But these relaxed rules only apply at select U.S. airports right now, like Atlanta, ATL, JFK in New York, and LAX. If your journey includes smaller airports or international layovers, the old 3-to-1-to-1 rule might still apply. So it's smart to double-check with your departure and connecting airports before packing. Also, keep in mind, just because these items are allowed doesn't mean everything is fair game. TSA still bans sharp tools and flammable items in carry-ons. If you're finding this video useful so far, give this video a quick like. It helps other parents see it too. Okay, let's clear something up that trips up a lot of parents. What exactly does count as medication when you're going through TSA with your kiddo? First things first, when you're flying with children's medications, you must understand the difference between prescription and over-the-counter drugs. Prescription meds, whether liquid, pills, creams, or injectables like EpiPens or insulin, are allowed in your carry-on. Now, while it's not a strict TSA requirement, it's highly recommended to keep prescription medications in their original labeled containers. This is especially if you're traveling with controlled substances like Adderall or anti-anxiety meds. You don't want to be explaining to the TSA agent what's in an unmarked container. A tip here, avoid mixing different pills into one container. Been there, done that, not recommended at all. It creates confusion during screening. Also, never pack prescription meds in checked luggage. Always keep them in your carry-on or personal item. If your bag gets lost or delayed, you don't want to be without your children's essential treatment. Now, for over-the-counter meds. This is where many parents hesitate. But meds like Tylenol, Motrin, Benadryl, gripe water, teething gel, or even gas drops all fall under the medication umbrella. TSA is more relaxed here. You can bring them in both solid and liquid form, like prescription meds. They are excluded from the 3-to-1-to-1 rule if you let officers know they're being used for medical purposes. For over-the-counter meds, keep them in their original packaging whenever possible. It makes it easier for TSA to verify them. Saline solution, Neosporin, and medicated ointments like CeraVe or Aquaphor are all allowed, as long as they're clearly for medical use. That includes topical treatments like hydrocortisone cream or pain relief gels such as Voltaren. Anything medically necessary is fine to bring, even without a prescription. If an agent does ask, just explain it's for your child's condition, like eczema, teething pain, or a rash. But what about medical devices? You're covered here too. TSA allows medical devices like insulin pumps, CPAP machines, syringes, and glucose monitors. Devices worn on the body, like continuous glucose monitors or infusion pumps, are also allowed, but they might trigger alerts at the security scanner. If that happens, you can request a hand screening or pat-down instead of going through the full-body scanner, which could damage the device. Now, if your child uses a prescription CBD medication like Epidiolex, it's allowed in your carry-on because it's FDA approved and contains no THC. Just make sure it's clearly labeled and in its original packaging. But anything with more THC, even with a prescription, is still banned by TSA. One new tip for 2025 that parents should seriously consider. If your child takes uncommon medications or uses specialized devices like injectors or patches, bring a doctor's note. This is especially smart if you're traveling internationally because other countries might not recognize U.S. prescription formats. A simple letter that explains what the medication is for, who it's prescribed to, and why it's needed can be helpful if a security officer has questions. Do you want a printable checklist of everything we're covering? Let me know in the comments and I'll link it below. These simple steps can prevent a lot of stress because when you're traveling with kids, the last thing you want is a delay at security over a bottle of cough syrup. Stick with me and I'll walk you through exactly how to get through security stress-free in the next section. Okay, parents, this part is really important, so let's walk through it. Don't stress though. If you know what to expect, it's not as scary as it sounds. First things first, declare your child's medications right away. As soon as you get to the screening line, let the TSA officer know you're carrying medically necessary items. This includes liquid meds, creams, or anything gel-like. Most of the time, these items go through the X-ray, but you can ask for a visual inspection instead, especially if you're worried about the contents. Just speak up before the item enters the machine. TSA officers are trained to handle this. Ice packs, gel packs, and other cooling devices are allowed. Just be sure to declare them at security. If they're slushy or partially melted, TSA might give them a closer look during screening, so it helps to keep them clearly packed and easy to access. Some airports now have upgraded CT scanners. These scanners use 3D imaging and can now bring full-sized medications and other used-to-be-restricted items in your carry-on. But not all airports have the new tech yet. It's still safest to follow the traditional 3.4-ounce rule, just in case. And speaking of extra support, if airport security stresses you out, there's a special program designed just for that. TSA Cares is a free assistance program designed for passengers who may need extra help handling the screening process, including families traveling with children who have medical needs, disabilities, or sensory sensitivities. All you need to do is fill out a short request form at tsa.gov at least 72 hours before your flight. Once submitted, a TSA representative will contact you to understand your needs and arrange any helpful accommodations. For example, if your child uses a medical device or needs more time to get through screening, TSA Cares will help you avoid the standard rush at the checkpoint. They'll assign a passenger support specialist who meets you at the airport and walks you through the entire screening process. It's calm, it's clear, and it reduces unnecessary stress. Have you ever used TSA Cares? Share your experience below. It could seriously help another family. Plus, for those traveling with hidden disabilities, wearing a sunflower lanyard quietly signals to staff that you might need a little extra time, patience, or support. Alright, now that we've got the official stuff out of the way, let's talk about something every parent loves: pro tips. These are the travel hacks and answers to the most common questions I get asked all the time by fellow moms and dads. If there's one thing every traveling parent needs, it's a system. So you organize everything for a smoother trip. Start by using a clear, quart-sized zip bag for all medications. It should be easy to grab and place in the security bin. Label this bag "Child Medication" using a sticky note or marker. If you have several medications, separate liquids from solids and label each one with its intended use. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later. Label everything. Prescription meds should stay in their original pharmacy packaging, clearly showing your child's name and the prescribing doctor. For over-the-counter meds, just leave them in their original sealed packaging. Include a printed medication list with dosages, times, and what each one is for. It helps you stay on track during hectic travel days and can be invaluable in case of an emergency. It would be better if you keep a digital copy on your phone too. It's easier to access when needed. For liquid meds, make sure each bottle is sealed properly to avoid leaks and pack an extra zip bag just in case. Don't forget backup. Pack a few extra days' worth of meds in case of delays, and always keep medications in your carry-on, not checked baggage. And finally, organize everything in an easy access pocket of your diaper bag or backpack. The goal is simple: make it quick for TSA and stress-free for you. When you're managing little ones, even 5 extra minutes saved can make a world of difference. The bottom line: know the rules, pack smart, and stay calm. But that's just one part of the story. Want to know the sneaky tricks airlines use that passengers never notice? Watch my last video. Trust me, you'll travel completely differently after that.